Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, our blog is holding our podcast hostage.
The Big Success Show with George and Mary Lynn.
We're on the scene, standing in front of this big building where a big crowd has gathered. The police are here. They have a huge area sectioned off, and they're keeping the crowd behind it.
Well, we got one of those phone calls you never want to get, George. We were summoned here.
From the police?
Yeah, from
Yes.
the police, because our blog is holding our podcast, The Big Success Show, hostage.
I'm telling you, I never thought I'd see this day, Mary.
What's going on here?
But it sounds like we got here just in time. Our blog has sent out a list of demands. The police are telling us that we have to make the decision about this. I thought that's what these pros got paid for. But apparently we have to make, we have to decide.
There are kids. We're the parents.
There you
We've
go.
got to do something about
We
it.
have to make some decisions because they said otherwise they're going to send in the SWAT team.
Oh my gosh, we don't want that happening. Look at those guys over there. I don't want our blog facing off with them.
I tell you, they look mean.
All right, let's see what our blog wants. Hopefully, this thing can be brought to a peaceful resolution and quickly.
All right, the first one is our blog wants to be able to post independently.
Oh, okay, I see. Because right now, our blog posts are transcriptions of our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, our blog wants to work with the podcast, but also wants to have its own posts. I think we can make that happen.
I think you're right, Mary Lynn. So the second one is our blog wants to be timely.
Well, it does take a lot of time to put together a show with a fully transcribed post, and our blog wants to be able to move more quickly to bring the most current content to our community. Again, I can see that.
I mean, how many times have we seen a fellow blogger with just a fantastic post, but the demands of, getting up the show, recording it, transcribing the blog, all of that just kind of kept us from being able to point them out in a timely way. So I think it's a good idea. I'm glad our blog suggested it.
All right, we're 2 for 2. Let's see what else our blog is demanding. Number 3 says it wants to be more topical.
Tropical?
Topical.
Topical. Oh, that's right. We want to be more tropical.
Yeah.
We really shouldn't joke in a situation like this, should we?
I know, get serious.
Well, but once again, the lead time required to put together a show, along with all the other demands on our time throughout the day, it's just really kind of kept us from posting about the issues of the day.
But sometimes we'd love to share our opinion and also get the opinion from our audience members. And
Absolutely.
So I can see what our blog is saying here. I say we go for this one too.
All right, we're doing pretty well. The fourth demand is, this one's really directed at us, I think, Mary Lynn. Our blog wants guest bloggers from time to time. Get sick of hearing about us.
Man, I'm starting to be insulted by my own blog. But I'll have to say our blog makes a good point here, because right now the way we do it, the blog is always us, George, because it's tied to our podcast. So by separating the two, we can welcome guest bloggers. I love this.
I do too. I think it's a good idea. The final demand, it's just sick and tired of playing second fiddle. We are very podcast centric, I think, Mary Lynn. The blog wants more balance.
Well, I love our podcast, and some content does lend itself better to audio, and some works better as text. So we should use each to its fullest potential instead of pigeonholing one or the other.
Yeah, so if we untie them, if we separate the blog from the podcast, it opens up all of these possibilities. Hey, I think we can give our blog everything it wants.
I do too.
All right, let's just go tell the officer.
George, wake up.
What?
Hey, honey, you fell asleep, and man, were you snoring.
Man, I was having this craziest dream, Mary Lynn. Our blog was holding our podcast hostage.
What?
Yeah, it's like they were real people or something. We were there, the police were there, and our blog had this whole list of demands.
Oh my gosh, let me guess. It's all the stuff that we've been talking about.
Well, sometimes real life kind of gets into your head, doesn't it? Gets into your dreams.
Because we've been talking about separating the blog and the podcast.
Yeah, and it's really served us well the last 2.5 years, having them tied together. But we've learned some important lessons along the way.
Yeah, people always say to give your audience the information they want however they want it, but sometimes a message or a method fits one medium better than the other. That's the first lesson.
For example, our audience could read a transcription of today's show, But it won't be the same as listening to all this tomfoolery we're trying to pull off today.
Right, listening to your dreams.
Exactly. We want to be able to do more shows like this one. To have more fun, separating our podcast and our blog will allow us to do that more often.
The second lesson is to deliver the experience your audience expects while remaining flexible.
We didn't want our blog readers, we were always afraid of this, right, Mary Lynn? We didn't want our blog readers to miss out by not having everything that we talked about included in the blog post. Mm-hmm. We didn't want our podcast listeners to miss out by just doing a blog.
However, we missed opportunities to share great information with you because we always did the two together. We also think that we can produce an even higher quality show if we don't feel everything has to be put into a blog post.
So we're not going to be so rigid. Excuse me. I meant to say we're going to be more flexible.
Okay. I like that word better. Yeah.
We want to bring great information your way in the best format, whatever that may be. Most of all, we want to help you reach big success.
And we thank you so much for listening. And until next time, here's to your big success.
The Big Success Show at BIGGsuccess.com.